Hello everyone! Today we're going to be jumping into Historic Brawl with one of your requests, Nikya of the Old Ways. Now our commander is a 5 mana 5/5 that's going to prevent us from casting non-creature spells. But as an upside, whenever we tap a land for mana, we're going to get to add an additional mana of any type that land could produce. So this is essentially going to double our mana. Keeping that in mind when going about deck building, we have no non-creature spells here. So everything in our deck is going to be a creature spell. And obviously we are playing towards that ramp goal. We have Delighted Halfling as well as all of the elves. Elvish Reclaimer is also a pretty strong option in this deck since it can fix our mana, get us our Nykthos as well, which can tap for even more mana, really accelerating us and letting us ramp. We've got some more ramp pieces. A particularly good one in this deck is the Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia here. Since we do have a lot of creatures with that power 5 or greater, including our commander, we can actually untap Gwenna a decent amount. And with that mana doubling ability, we can get a lot of good casts out as well. Up at the top end of our deck, we do have a lot of very expensive threats. We've got Emrakul and Ulamog as the Eldrazi Titans, as well as World Spine Worm. We've got the Vorinclex that everybody hates, tapping down our opponent's land for an extra turn. We've got Omnath, like we had in our deck the other day, as well as Zapandrel here. This is going to be absolutely insane, doubling the power and toughness of each of our creatures during combat. We've got both of the new Titans as well, both Inferno Titan and Primeval Titan for more ramp, as well as a whole suite of other expensive cards. If you've been enjoying my videos so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on my latest content. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like. Let's go ahead and see how this deck does. Alright, here we are on the draw into an Atraxa deck. This is the Proliferating Atraxa deck. We can go ahead and keep this opening hand. I like Delighted Halfling, I like Llanowar Elves. We do have a lot of early creature ramp, which is very strong for this deck. Again, Delighted Halfling is one of the best mana dorks that we could ask for here, since we can stop some of our legendary creatures from being countered. So next turn we'll play out the Llanowar Elves. We'll see what we find. Now, Duress is really funny into our deck, as we do not have any non-creature spells. I guess the fringe case is we do have some of the enchantment creatures. Yep, just gonna name our commander, that makes the most sense. Maybe they'll name one of the other cards in our hand, who knows? Yep, just names the commander. That makes sense to me. Swing in for one. Might as well hit our opponent. So next turn we will have access to 5 mana. I think we go for the Silverback Elder. Now the reason we do that before Ashaya is this is going to let us find even more lands and get them onto the battlefield as we cast our creature spells. We can also destroy Curse of Silence when our next creature ETBs, which will also be very strong for us. Alright, so I think we actually go for the Cavalier here. I'm gonna destroy the Curse of Silence. I'm gonna give that priority over the ramp, since Cavalier is gonna ramp us. Looking good. And then no need to attack just yet. I do want to keep Silverback Elder alive, since that's going to be a value machine. Being able to gain 4 life each time we cast a creature is also going to be really crazy for us, since Atraxa is only going to be able to deal 4 damage. Alright, well, let's go Ashaya. And we're going to go ahead and take that ramp option. Put another forest onto the battlefield. Play out the Armored Scrap Gorger. Get rid of Phyrexian Arena. Fewer cards for our opponent. And then let's swing with Cavalier of Thorns. Alright, we're doing some good damage here. Alright, Kaya. My guess is they're going to exile the Ashaya here. At least that makes the most sense to me. We'll see, though. Nope, we've got it. Alright. Alright, opponent is going first. They're playing an Artemis the All-Seeing deck. So that's pretty interesting, since they're focusing on an alternate win condition. We can keep this opening hand, though. Gonna go ahead and start with a Forest. Okay, Mountain. We're not gonna play out Burning Tree, just because it'll add more mana for us. So I figured I would play it on the same turn that we play something else out. Maybe we get the counter here. Stops our turn. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we do have a free turn here. We're going to use that to cast out our Sage. That's going to let us add 3 mana for casting a creature, which is very strong in our deck. I'm going to shock this in just because. And I think we're going to go ahead and play out the Pandrel here. This will draw the counterspell, if they have it. They might also have bounce or exile removal. No, just Mind Splice. Okay. Well, that's really good for us. Forerunners makes everything even better. Alright, well, let's go ahead and try and play out the Forerunners here. They're gonna have to counter this. Yep. Makes perfect sense. Can just swing out. Force the block. That's fine by me. After this, if we draw another land, I think we're gonna go Omnath. Otherwise, Kogla could be really good here. We can go ahead and fight the Mystic, keep our opponent off some value. They're going to want to kill our Sage, most likely. So we do find the land, so I'm going to play out Omnath here. Landfall. And we'll swing out. Starting to get some good damage here. Next turn, we're looking at an absolutely insane amount of damage. We can also use the ability here to sacrifice 2 other creatures, which in this case, if we get more lands, could be both elemental tokens for Omnath to deal 3 damage each. Alright, creatures have all been returned to our hand. I think we're just gonna replay the Sage here. And let's go X2. And we'll double. Now we could have held on to Voracious Hydra for some more fight-based interaction. But I think we're in a pretty good spot, personally.
The time or place, I'm ready to win.
There's a Spirit.
I've got eyes.
Brainstorm,
everywhere.
sure. Brainstorm is really good. So that's 3+1/+1 counters. We might want to go Kogla and fight the token. Lots of triggers here. Mind Stone, sure. Alright, yeah. Let's go Kogla. If there is a counterspell, we'll probably see it, but it seems like there's not. We'll go ahead and fight here. Yep. We'll play out another Mana Door. Move to combat. Now, while we could hit our opponent here, I do want to bring Teferi down to 1. This means after they draw their card for turn, they'll have to kill Teferi to make another token. And we do have a 7/7 on the board. Not to forget Zapandrel in hand. Doubling the power across our board is going to force blocks. Okay, opponent decided to draw an additional card. Now we do have some more choices for next turn. I think if we draw a land, we can go Omnath. We can also just go for this here. Try and double that power. That will give us lethal on board. And our opponent hasn't been countering too much. Draw a card, sure. Yeah. I'm a bit wary of Mind Splice. A large X card could steal all of our creatures. And if that happens, we are almost certainly going to lose the game. But we'll see, okay. Murmuring Mystic is back. Okay, Leyline, sure. Now, Old Gnawbone is also really strong here. I'm gonna go ahead and play out Old Gnawbone instead. And we do have 5 mana, so I think I want to go ahead and cast the Ashaya as well. And then, for combat, we're just gonna swing both at our opponent. Okay, that's 7 treasures. Now, how much do we want to invest in this right now? I think we're gonna throw our Omnath out onto the battlefield, also. Yep. Omnath notably triggers landfall off of himself, because he is a land now, thanks to Ashaya. And we've got it, alright. Alright, here we are on the play. This isn't a terrible opening hand, but I am going to take the mulligan since we won't have enough green for the Llanowar tribe, so that's basically a dead draw. We'll keep this instead. Gonna start with the tap Stomping Ground since we didn't have a turn 1 play. And at this point, we're just gonna keep on playing lands. Slow and steady, working our way up to those larger creature threats. Elvish Mystic is a great draw here. Gonna give us access to 4 mana next turn, so shifting Ceratops could be a very strong pick. Notably can't be countered, so even if our opponent did hold up counter magic, we would be fine. And protection from blue is really strong into a green and blue deck. Okay, Midnight Clock. Seems like our opponent is having some difficulty with the mana base. So we'll just attack like that. And I think we're gonna go ahead and cast out our Hydra for X2. And we'll make sure it fights the Florahedron. That's gonna set our opponent back some mana. So even if they do find their land drop, it's gonna be much more difficult. Yeah, we got it. And it's a battle of the Gruul decks. Our opponent's playing Atali, which is really good for them since there are a lot of good hits in our deck. We're gonna take the mulligan here. Nope, I want to see a green land. Alright, we'll keep this. Go ahead, bottom the World Spine Worm. Now we've got Incubation Druid and the Sage here. Ragavan is a little bit of an issue. Let's play out Llanowar Elves. I think we just block and kill Ragavan. It is unfortunate. But sometimes you have to do that. Let's go Incubation Druid here. Next turn we've got our Sage. If we can get Atali out before our opponent, that would be pretty cool. It's gonna be questionable though. Swift boost, sure. We'll just play out the Sage. No attacks. Alright, well. Atali time. Beat him to it. Okay, let's go here and there. Gonna just go ahead, fight there. No attacks. We do have some solid value. Not to mention the Gulta, that's gonna be super cheap for us. Leyline Tyrant, also really good. Discard up to 2 cards. I don't think so. We can keep this. Let's see. So let's just tap correctly here. Oh, well, looks like we've got it anyway. Alright, here we are on the play facing off against another Gruul deck. We're going to be on the lookout for a very large hamster coming out of our opponents. Let's go ahead and start with a forest, pass the turn. Early plan, going to be as normal. Going to play out our ramp creatures. Okay. Looks good. We'll have enough mana for Toski next turn. Let's see if our opponent... Okay, does nothing there. Fine by me. Here's Toski. Next turn, we can play out our commander. It's going to give us plenty of mana. Yep. Inferno Titan is actually going to be really strong for us since we can kill that human token, turn off the Lovestruck Beast. Now we are faced with a choice. Our commander is definitely going to be a better choice than the Delighted Halfling here, just because that's going to give us access to way more mana next turn. Yep. I do unfortunately have to attack with Toski each turn. Okay, our opponent finally has red mana. And a Toski of their own. Very exciting. Love seeing that. No blocks. So they do get to hit us with the Lovestruck Beast. Alright, well, I think we just play Atali here. Seems to be a solid option. Alright, and use that extra mana on the Halfling. And of course, we do have to attack with Toski. We are in a really good spot here. We have a bunch of mana. We can look at trying to flip Atali. We can play out Vorinclex for some more lands. A bunch of different options. Yeah. Helena and Elena are both very good. Gonna make the Lovestruck Beast larger, that's fine. Just gonna swing with Toski. Sure. We'll block there. Alright, so we do have some choices. Worldspine Worm is good. Inferno Titan, also good. We can also just flip Atali and swing. I think we're gonna flip Atali. This is gonna force the block. We can pay it, so we'll pay it. No need to lose life for no reason. Okay, move to combat. And we've got it, alright. Okay everyone, I hope you enjoyed. As we saw, our commander is a great ramp-based commander. We do have a slight weakness in that we are limited to only being able to cast creature spells with our commander on the battlefield, but we more than make up for that by having some of the very powerful creatures that Gruul has to offer. Now, we can be weak to bounce effects, removal effects, and things like that since we don't have too much protection in the list, but aside from that, again, our goal is really to just keep on getting more and more value on the board and forcing our opponent to have to deal with that. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you have any ideas for another deck you want to see me play, let me know in a comment down below. I'll see you all next time.